Rock and roll was a lifelong dream, but it had to end. And as the lights went down on my career, I decided to follow my heart and set out on a journey to explore different cultures and ways of living. Down there, a new world opened itself up to me. A world of new faces, places, and foods. Around every corner, a new experience. My name is Nick Payne. I am a culinary archaeologist, traveling alone on a lifelong journey to preserve the world's ancient recipes. I discovered that many customs, including foods used by the natives, were disappearing every day. Saving these for future generations became my mission. And now, I bring you some of the world's most exotic culinary traditions. Slow and easy. The people here take their time. Life is simple. Still a society based on hard physical labor, the disparity between the relatively rich and the desperately poor can be disturbing to us. Yet despite this, the happiness of the people can clearly be seen, mostly on the faces of the children. Through their eyes, we see the depth of their culture. Since the beginning of culinary history, the people of Mexico have sold food on the street to a hungry public. Around every corner, aromas overwhelm my senses. As abundant wisps of cooking food are carried along by the warm breeze of a setting sun, I stop and breathe in the aroma of freshly baked bread from a horno, the clay oven found outside every home.
I've just arrived here in Ixtapa, Mexico. We are in the state of Guerrero, on the western coast of Mexico. The other close village is Zihuatanejo. We're going to go visit that place too. But right now, we're going to go inside and we're going to meet the people at the Posada Real Hotel. Juan is the manager there of the food and beverage department, and we're going to go meet the head chef. They're going to cook some traditional Mayan dishes for us. So let's go in and meet the two.
I chose the low season to come to the beaches of Ixtapa to learn the secrets of some of the region's best chefs. I had been told of a corn dish dating back to the Mayan period called crepes chilacoche. Head chef Gregorio Poblete of the Posada Real Hotel agreed to show me this rarely prepared dish. Epazote leaf, an essential herb in Mexican cuisine, adds a tangy mint-like flavor to the crepe. The chilacoche filling is made from corn that has been left in its husk until it molds and turns black. This decaying corn is then scraped off the stalk and used as the base ingredient. It is sautéed with onions, garlic, tomato, oil, and salt over a high heat. Gregorio has been a chef at this restaurant for 15 years. As a young boy, he helped his grandmother select the ears of corn that they would set aside after the harvest for use in the dish. As he grew older, he learned from her how to make this dish and many others. Developed hundreds of years before refrigeration, this recipe allowed the Mexicans to use corn that might otherwise have been discarded. The chilacoche is rolled into the crepe. Gregorio then adds several slices of Monterey Jack cheese. This is an addition of his own design. He will broil it until the cheese has been melted and slightly browned. With just a hint of tangy mint, this rich, creamy, mushroom-flavored crepe is a historic mix of old and new. I thanked Gregorio and Juan for showing me an incredible dish.
My friend here, George, is taking us throughout the area, and what are, again, some of the meats, the unusual meats that they eat out here, which is traditional, typical?
Yeah, the typical is el venado, el armadillo, el marrano o puerco, y pues
Iguana.
iguana, pues inclusive las aves se comen también.
Yeah. So we're gonna try and go see some other people who cook iguana, but I want to give you a quick look around at the city here and all the surrounding area, because this is a really neat tropical area. You really should come see it when you come out here. And there's a lot of food that you're not really used to and that you should get used to when you come out here. You should try those things because it's fantastic, especially the fruit. The fruit is wonderful here. So let's get going because we got a lot of places to go. Ready?
Yeah, sure.
Well, let's go.
With a history dating back as far as 3000 BC, the coastal people used many methods to prepare their food, much of which hasn't changed today. They grew and cultivated corn, the most influential food in all of the Americas. The metate, the corn grinder, hadn't changed in a millennia and was still in use all over Mexico. Once only a legend, archaeologists recently uncovered a city dominated by women from almost 1,500 years ago. What they found amazed them. Urns for spices and herbs and all kinds of cooking vessels never seen on the coast before. They developed an extensive trade network with other groups extending over 2,000 miles. In addition to necessities of everyday life, they exchanged innovations and were fiercely competitive in sports. But I was in search of something more. A recipe unmodified by the passing of time. An ancient and direct link to their Mayan culture. As I relaxed in the gentle light of a setting Mexican sunset, I had no idea that in the morning I would get the culinary surprise of my life.
We're in La Puerta. It's now 4 in the morning, and Lupita here is the owner of the restaurant, and she's going to prepare a traditional dish, which is iguana. See? Big lizard. This is the iguana we're going to prepare today. And Lupita's going to prepare it, and we're going to check it out. I'll help her hold it down.
Beginning a 12-hour workday by cleaning and wrestling the skin off a prehistoric lizard would strike fear in the hearts of most chefs. This fifth-generation restaurant, located in the Rancho region of the Guerrero countryside, is run by Lupita and her daughter, Carmen.
So let's go into the kitchen. It's still 5:45. We're in Lupita's kitchen now, and she's going to prepare the iguana. She's putting the meat inside of a pan, and she's going to prepare it a special way. Meanwhile, I'll get out of the way because I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing here except for telling you what's going on, so I'll get out of the way.
First, the iguana is boiled in water to help soften the meat. This takes about 20 minutes. While the iguana is boiling, Lupita prepares the distinctive spices that will flavor the dish. Familiar ingredients like clove, garlic, and pepper are used in the metate grinder. Also added is coriander, which tastes like dillweed. Instead of water, juice from the boiling iguana is added. The fatty oils from the meat better absorb the spices and enrich the flavor.
This is the juice from the iguana.
Yeah, okay.
After being blended with the spices she ground up before, the mixture is added to onions, sautéing in oil. She then adds the iguana meat and cooks it for 35 minutes. A zesty aroma fills the air.
Here the name is Lupita Restaurant. Yes, to the airport close. Make food. Iguana special, red snapper soup, and steak a la mexicana, and porky, and the red sauce. And make a salsa, ranchera sauce, with green pepper, onions, and garlic sauce.
The basics of Mexican cooking are onions, tomato, and chili, ingredients with an ancient past. Lupita uses these three ingredients, along with tomatillos, to begin Sopa Veracruz. The farmers in this historically fertile valley provide Lupita with her wide range of fresh vegetables and chilies. She receives personal deliveries direct from the fields every morning. To prepare for the hard-working ranch hands who like this red snapper soup, she will make it to feed many people. The head, the eyes, scales, and fins are all necessary ingredients of Sopa Veracruz. The soup will be ready in a little under 30 minutes. Lupita's daughter Carmen prepares steak a la mexicana, made from thin pieces of beef called steak ranchero. An enormous amount of onions and tomatoes are added to the dish, approximately 5 of each. And this is her secret. Look at the way she's cutting the chilies. I'd never seen this before until I filmed it. She doesn't cut the chilies completely in half. Instead, she scores them down the middle, allowing the top to keep it together. She told me that this gives the dish a great chili flavor without releasing too much heat. Carmen was the only one of Lupita's 5 daughters that stayed behind to learn the family recipes. Her sisters left for the city. Carmen hopes to soon find a good husband, start a family, and continue tradition at this restaurant. Someday, her daughters will follow in her footsteps. It's amazing. These women manage to keep 5, 6, 7 different dishes going at the same time. To begin the salsa, chilies are roasted on a hot stove until they start to blister. This only takes a few minutes. Carmen starts with garlic and some onion. Using the metate, she grinds them up, forcing the juices into the pores of the rock. Seasoning the metate is an important step, as the flavor of the garlic and onion will now surround the chilies. Next, she adds the roasted chilies. Softened by the heat, they are easily crushed in the metate. Once again, rock salt is added. Here you can see it drawing the juice out of the chilies. Until now, I had never known how to make traditional salsa such as this. The smell of roasted chilies fills the air, and all she adds is a little bit of water to finish the dish. In less than 5 minutes, with this simple process and only 4 ingredients, you have traditional Mexican salsa. As the sun rises, the main dishes have been completed and are set aside so they don't overcook. The pots and pans are cleaned and placed outside to dry. This brief pause allows Lupita to prepare for her additional help that will arrive soon to assist with handmade specialties of the restaurant.
She's going to make 2 different kinds of tortillas. She's going to make the first one, which is regular corn, ground up corn, and then the other one, which is made by hand, she's going to actually add pork to, which is a specialty of her own design. So we're going to go in and see how she does that.
It's 6:30 a.m. and George Martinez brings the corn that will be ground into the masa used in 2 types of tortillas. 2 girls arrive at 7 o'clock to help with the dishes and prepare tortillas. At exactly 7:15, the bread girl comes. Her mother bakes the best bread in the region and supplies it fresh to the local restaurants daily. Now the process of making tortillas begins. The freshly ground masa is kneaded until the perfect texture is achieved. Susanna comes each day to make the tortillas. As an apprentice learning the basics, she will someday move from making tortillas to assisting Carmen with the region's favorite dishes. For the other tortillas, tortillas a la mano, Carmen takes whole corn kernels that have soaked in lime for over 20 minutes and grinds them. Lupita's secret ingredient, she says, is fried pork called chicharrón. The fried pork will give the handmade tortillas their special flavor. A half a cup of oil from the fried pork is added to the mixture. This not only enhances the flavor, but also acts as a binder. Mixing it and squeezing it through her fingers, she says, allows her to feel the texture and know if the mixture is just right. Tortillas a la mano means just that, tortillas made by hand. Lupita will personally make the thicker tortillas a la mano. Without her experienced hands, these tortillas could crack and fall apart when cooked. As it browns on both sides, the center will open, just as easily as this. You can then add salsa or any other type of filling you desire.
This is the iguana. After all of this work, mucho trabajo, 2 horas cooking?
2 horas.
2-3 hours of cooking, and we've got onions and we've got the iguana. First time for everything. Very, very interesting. It tastes like any other meat.
No, Lupita.
I would say something between rabbit and frog, but it's very, very good. This iguana was alive about 5 hours ago. And it's been cooking for 3 hours. Very nice.
I thanked Lupita for giving me a small recipe from her vast treasury of knowledge and hope to see her again soon. It was a pleasure to see the Mexican culture and cuisine at its finest. As I left through the hills of Guerrero, continuing my quest for the exotic dishes of the world, I wondered how many more chefs were in these mountains and other parts of Mexico who had secrets from the past, living legacies of an ancient people and the cuisine they had created. I vowed to return someday to feel the warmth, the history, and depth of the Mexican people and the country they call home.
Once again, I want to thank you for joining me on The Exotic Kitchen. I think we have truly seen the soul of Mexican cooking and the Mexican people in general. We have seen dishes that you can reproduce at home and dishes you might not want to reproduce at home. But the whole purpose is to show you the tremendous amount of cooking techniques that exist in every country around the world. So once again, I want to remind you that only here on The Exotic Kitchen is where you're going to find traditional recipes that you won't find anywhere else. So join me again next time when we bring you other exotic places, other exotic recipes. And remember, try something different. It'll make a difference in your life. I am Nick Payne. See you again next time. Bye-bye.